This is about someone that you might be familiar with as well. The guy that's the continuity announcer on BBC Two. I got a bit obsessed with him. I was watching a programme. I don't know what it was, but he said on today's episode they go to Venice, and it's like the first 20 minutes of the programme is like of this kind of drama series. It was like them setting up where they were going to go on holiday. It's like, well, we already know that it's Venice because the continuity announcer spoilt it for us. But this is called The Continuity Announcer Stole My Wife. We were on our second bottle of wine when you went all quiet and said, "I've been cheating on you." Just then the doorbell rang. It was our takeaway, but neither of us were hungry anymore. The man kept ringing the bell. He must have seen we were in, but this was no time for chow mein. "Is it with someone I know?" I asked. "Sort of," you said. "You know the man who says, 'and now the snooker,' and next on BBC Two, Eggheads. It's him." You said it had been going on for about 6 months, and I thought about all the times that we'd been on the settee waiting for MasterChef to start, and you didn't even flinch. I hadn't suspected a thing. I know you went away with work quite a lot, but then so did I, and I still feel guilty about the time I drank everything in the minibar and then phoned up a chat line. But all the time you were shagging the BBC Two continuity announcer. I bet when he said, "and now it's later with Jules Holland," he was thinking about your tits. "Not the bloke on Dave," my friend asked when I told him. "BBC Two," I said, and he nodded like it was Eton. He said, "Do you think he has to wear a shirt and tie when he does his announcing, or can he just wear something comfy like a jumper?" He said, "Do you think he just sits in a room with a TV and a microphone?" He said, "Do you think he can say what he wants, or does he have to follow a script?" There were so many questions that I didn't have an answer to. And we didn't eat our takeaway. We just threw it in the bin, and you went upstairs and packed your bags, and you left. And I kept hoping that you would come back, but you never did do. And now whenever I watch BBC Two, I hear the continuity announcer and think how happy the two of you must be together. I still don't even know what he looks like. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more. This is from my book. I've got a book called What If Men Burst In Wearing Balaclavas. It's something I think about pretty much every day of my life. I'm thinking about it right now. I think we might be okay though. This is about my favourite newsreader. It's George Alagaya, obviously. Every day George Alagaya practices saying the same line. The Queen is dead. The Queen is dead. The Queen is dead. He says it into the mirror when he's shaving. He sings it in the shower, enunciates every word when he's driving to work. We have some breaking news. The Queen is dead. He rehearses scenarios. She died peacefully in her sleep. She was hit by a bullet through the forehead. She was killed in a car crash in Paris. George Alagaya's wife has not been on holiday for years. Her suggestions of a week in Spain are always ignored. Brochures of Tuscany are thrown in the bin. There is no chance of a weekend city break because George knows the value of full attendance. He doesn't want to give anyone else a chance to say those words, not Sophie Wayworth or Hugh Edwards or Fiona Bruce. Whenever they see each other in the BBC canteen, they just glare. They all know what the other one is thinking. They want to be the one to say the words. So if you were just tuning in, the Queen is dead. George Alagaya has got a bag packed especially. He keeps it by the front door, and in it is a comb and a black tie and a notebook with a carefully worded eulogy, because every time he goes to bed he knows his sleep could be disturbed by his phone ringing, and it will be his producer saying, "George, something terrible has happened. We need you." Thank you. Okay, and this is the last one I'm going to do. Thank you, the Camden for it. If you want to buy a copy of these, they are £5. They're very limited edition. I think there's only 8 in circulation, so it's pretty fucking exciting. That wasn't a joke. It wasn't like a marketing. Yeah, okay. So a couple of years ago, me and a few friends went wanted to do a writing retreat, and so we went up to a place. Our friend's grandma has a cottage in Scotland, so we went up there for a week, and it's kind of so remote that you can't get phone signal, or like, I had to drive 20 miles to get phone signal. And it's got no TV, no internet, nothing. And then me and my friend Hannah one day we kind of went for a walk and we found a shepherdess. So it was the first human contact we'd had for like a week. And she kind of came over to us and said hello, and she started to tell us weird things about her life, which was, like, Hannah thought was beautiful, I thought was a bit annoying. This is about that shepherdess. It's called She Teaches Hannah. We meet a shepherdess by a river. She has skin like a dry stone wall. I used to write poetry, she says, spying our notebooks, but only when I was in love. She tells us that even though she's retired, she still walks the same routes as when she worked, with just her sheepdog for company. She tells us her daughter is on drugs in a Glasgow bedsit, that she cannot remember the last time she ate a meal from her plate, and the only way she can forget about the sad things that happen every day is to walk the hills. She tells us routes we should take, and teaches Hannah names of flowers we will pass on our way. She tells us the legislation that prevents her from grazing her blind deer in her own back garden. She asks us if we know of anyone who could look after it, and we smile at the thought of getting it through the turnstiles at Ealing Broadway. She asks us how long we are staying in the cottage, gets crumpled maps out of her pockets and shows us the way to waterfalls, and tells us she hopes we will keep in touch. On the back of the map, she writes down her name and her phone number in handwriting that is far too neat for fields. Cool, thank you very much.